Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to a new video. My name is Prince Mason. Today we're talking about the DSLR versus mirrorless topic. This is something that you see in different photography forums, all over the internet, and people saying, "Oh my God, like mirrorless are like the best things in the world right now, the best things in sliced bread." And you have the DSLR crowd saying, "Oh, we are going to keep with our dinosaur ways." I'm just messing with you guys. But anyways, there is still a debate if you should go with mirrorless or DSLR. And today we are going to do more of like a point like system and just add them together. If you watch football, you know that if you win a match, then you get 3 points, and if it's a tie, draw, you get 1 point. So let's go with a system like that and see what we can come up with our mirrorless versus DSLR. Now, I'm not saying this is the ultimate comparison. At the end of the day, this is just a video. If you are trying to get a mirrorless or a DSLR, this should just be one of the videos you should watch in your endless research to know what's best for you. So put that at the back of your mind. This is not advice, but this is just my thoughts on the whole mirrorless versus DSLR thing. Yeah, I'm not going to be telling you how to spend your money. You should know how to spend your money. Okay, great. So the first thing we want to talk about is image quality. Now, which has the best image quality, mirrorless or DSLR? Now, put it at the back of your mind that what we are doing is pitching the mirrorless cameras that have or that are around probably the same price with those DSLR counterparts, which is DSLR counterparts, right? So if I am talking of like, let me say a Canon EOS R5. The camera that comes to my mind that probably was around that same price when it came out was the Canon 5D Mark IV, something like that. That's what I was saying. I would say the mirrorless cameras right now have way better image quality than the older cameras. Now, when I mean way better, I'm not saying like it's like 20 times better, but you can see the difference in image quality. Like it captures your images better right now. Like the sensor technology right now is better than it was 5 years ago, and it's only going to get better. When it comes to ISO, high ISO capabilities, the mirrorless cameras right now do it way better than the older cameras, the DSLRs used to do it. So when it comes to image quality, I'll definitely give the mirrorless cameras 3 points because they are just modern cameras. There's a lot of technology going into that. There's so much competition right now between the big boys in the camera world, and they're just churning out better and better cameras. So when it comes to image quality, that is definitely 3 points for the mirrorless cameras. Now let's talk about autofocus, right? Because if your camera can take amazing images, like the images of your camera, they're great, and you miss focus all the time, then what's the need? Why do you need to spend money on buying a camera that's probably that expensive? But when it comes to autofocus, the mirrorless cameras just win it. Like, there's no competition here. You cannot even compare. I'm talking about the mirrorless cameras right now that are probably what, $1,000, $1,500. The autofocus are better than DSLRs that used to cost $5,000, $6,000 in those days. They have eye autofocus. There's no competition. It's not even a comparison, right? Now, does this mean that you cannot get amazing images from a DSLR? No, it doesn't. Even with the autofocus, then I used to take great pictures, and not just me, people that were way better than me then still use DSLRs to take amazing pictures. So I'm not saying that you cannot get amazing pictures with a DSLR. We're just talking about comparing both systems, a mirrorless system and a DSLR. Which one has the better autofocus? The mirrorless systems definitely have better autofocus, more autofocus points. So if autofocus is something that you are really keen about, then definitely get a mirrorless camera. So that is 3 more points. That's 3 more points for the mirrorless camera. So that's taking the mirrorless cameras to 6 points and the DSLR to 0. Let's keep going. Now, let's talk about battery life. I just feel like I want to give the DSLR 3 points and not just keep giving the mirrorless cameras 3 points. Yes, so let's give the DSLR a win. And in terms of battery life, the DSLRs win hands down. They do not have the mirrorless technology. They have the old, I forget what they call them when you look through the old viewfinders. So they don't use as much batteries as the mirrorless cameras do. They're not constantly autofocusing, even though you can switch that off in your mirrorless camera. But they are they have more mechanical parts, and that is just, it's just going to reduce the amount of power that the camera needs, to operate. So definitely when it comes to battery life, the DSLRs. Now, am I saying that the mirrorless cameras are shit? No, I'm not saying that. They are still good and they're amazing. I use my Canon EOS R5 and I get as many pictures as possible. The camera has never died on me except when I forget to charge my batteries. So yeah, and as a professional, I don't think I expect you to just have one battery. You're probably going to have a couple, 4, 6, 8, 10. Who knows? A couple lying around, I mean. But when it comes to battery life, we're going to give the DSLRs 3 points. So 6 points to the mirrorless cameras and 3 points right now to DSLR. So let's talk about video. That's 3 points to the mirrorless cameras. When it comes to videos, the mirrorless technology has taken video functions in our cameras, our SLR cameras, to a whole new level, right? So, the DSLRs tried. They started the whole, good videos in SLR cameras, but I mean, there's no competition here. The mirrorless cameras win hands down. So that's 3 more points to the mirrorless cameras with their new 8K, 6K, oversampled videos, 4K 120, C-Log 2, C-Log 3, and all that stuff. Mirrorless cameras win when it comes to videos, hands down. So if video is something that you are passionate about, then definitely look at a mirrorless camera. So let's move to the next one. That's 3 more points. So that's 9 points right now for the mirrorless cameras and 3 points for DSLRs. So let's move to the next one. So let's talk about lens selection, right? Now, this is a little bit tricky. So I'll say it this way. The DSLRs have better lens selections than the mirrorless cameras, except if you are a Sony shooter where they have created more lenses right now for their mirrorless systems, and they have a lot of third-party lenses or a lot of third-party manufacturers making lenses for their systems. But when it comes to Nikon, Canon, those people have invested heavily in their DSLR lenses, and they have a ton of lenses, right? So when it comes to lens selection, I'll give that to the DSLRs. But hold on, just give me a minute. Now, does it mean that the native lenses that are for the DSLRs don't work great on mirrorless cameras? No, it doesn't mean that. I mean, I have used my older lenses on my R5 compared to when I had like a 5D Mark III and compared to when I used it with a 5D Mark IV. The lenses actually work better on my mirrorless camera. Now, I haven't used every lens out there, but the ones I've had, like my 100mm, my 70-200, they work better on my mirrorless camera than they did on my DSLRs. So I think I'll just give this a tie. It's like a toss-up between both. That the DSLRs have more lenses, like their lens selection is vast and a lot more. But the mirrorless cameras tend to use those lenses better. So, I mean, it's a draw. So that's 10 points to the mirrorless cameras right now. So that's 1 point each, and that will be 4 to the DSLR. So let's move to the next one. So quickly before we go to the next one, another thing is how sharp are these lenses, and how fast are they? If you look at the mirrorless or the lenses that are made for the mirrorless systems right now, they are actually taking things to a whole new level. Like, look at the 51.2 from the Canon, or from Canons, compared to the older 51.2. It's sharper, it's better. I heard the new Sony 51.2 is just out of this world. So if you actually look at it, the lenses for the mirrorless cameras are killing it. They're sharper, they're faster, they're better. But like I said, the DSLRs have a vast selection, like their sports lenses and all that stuff. So yeah, it's still a toss-up, so it's still a draw. So let's move into something that, is probably going to be the determining factor of you going mirrorless or sticking with the DSLRs, and that is price. When it comes to price, the DSLRs wins hands down. Like, you can't beat that. The mirrorless cameras right now are more expensive, and they are getting more expensive by the day. It almost seems like mirrorless cameras right now, or the companies feel like they can sell the cameras for a little bit more than they used to sell the old DSLRs because of the technology that they're putting into it. So if you look at it, I would say yes, Mirrorless cameras are way more expensive than DSLRs, and if you're actually looking at the used market, you can get a DSLR for a pretty decent price right now, and you'll be really happy with it and also happy with the image quality. For the most part, if you take pictures with, or if I take a photo with both cameras, you might not be able to tell the difference in quality, especially if we're putting it online. So when it comes to pricing, DSLRs are cheaper, DSLR lenses are cheaper. So if you are in a place where price is, price is something that is really important to you, and you can't just spend a lot of money on your next gear, then definitely check out DSLR. So that is 3 more points to DSLRs, and I think that's going to take you to 7. I mean, I've lost. I'll put it on the screen, but I kind of lost. So yeah, that's 7. And mirrorless is 10. Wow, that's closer than I thought. So let's move to the last one. No, this is not the last. This is not the last one. We have 2 more. So okay, great. So let's talk about ease of use. Which is easier to use? And that is the mirrorless cameras. Mirrorless cameras are way easier to use than DSLRs. Now I know the older Canon cameras had touch screens and all that, but still the mirrorless cameras with their touch functionalities and all that stuff, they are just a breeze to use. So yeah, just easier to use. So when it comes to ease of use, the mirrorless cameras are definitely easier to use over the DSLRs. So that's going to take the mirrorless right now to 13 points, and the DSLRs are still on 7 points. And the last one is resale value. I mean, we all get to a point where we tend to sell our cameras, and we hope that we can make the most amount of money. We can get the most amount of money that we can. We can get, let me just say, a lot of money, and then invest in another camera. So sell our cameras, get a lot of money, put a little bit on top, and buy a newer camera. We all want to get to that point, or we have all gotten to that point. So when it gets to that point, which one has the better resale value? Right now, I mean, it's the hottest kid on the block, so it has to be the mirrorless camera. So the mirrorless cameras definitely have better resale value than the DSLRs. I mean, by the end of the day, if you look at it the other way, if you get a DSLR for a pretty cheap price and you sell it for close to what you got it for, then I mean, that's not bad. But still, I'll say mirrorless cameras will hold their value for a lot longer than DSLRs are right now, because every company is phasing out their DSLR production. So yeah, so I think I'll just give the DSLRs 0 right now, and the mirrorless an extra 3 points, and that's going to take it to 16 points. So that's 16 over 7. I hope I calculated this thing very well. If I didn't, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's it. That's about it. That is my points ranking system. I mean, this is just off the top of my head. I don't know if there's anything I'm missing, but at the end of the day, I just want to tell you that, look, at the end of the day, your budget is what matters. If your budget can only get a DSLR, then go outside and get a DSLR. There are amazing DSLRs for cheap prices out there right now. You can get a DSLR for, it's like you can literally steal a DSLR right now. I'm not saying like go outside and steal. Yeah, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like for the price, it's literally a steal right now. And you will take amazing pictures with that. If you are a new photographer and you're just trying to get into photography, then definitely pick up a really good DSLR at a cheap price and learn how to shoot with that before you move into your mirrorless cameras. Learn how to focus and recompose. You probably never need it in your life again with this mirrorless thing and the autofocus, but learn it, and one day you say, hey, I used this technique. But yeah, that's about it. But if you have the money and you want to be future proof, then mirrorless is the way to go. I mean, there are crazy and amazing cameras coming out right now that you can't go wrong with any brand. I'm a Canon shooter. I shoot with the Canon EOS R5, and that's the brand I love. But I mean, you can literally go with any brand right now and you get amazing pictures. So yeah, that's about it. Anyways, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have gotten your camera and you are taking amazing pictures and you want to learn how to retouch those images, check out my beauty retouching masterclass. I'll put a link in the description below. It will help you retouch better, retouch faster, and just take your retouching to a whole new level. Link is in the description below. Check it out. Also, if you're looking to color grade your images, I have my skin tone lots that will help you take your skin to a whole new level, have them looking good and yummy. So check out my skin tone lot, my natural skin tone lot, and my skin tone lot for what do I call them? The signature skin tone lots. Yeah, check those out too. And if you want to retouch like really fast in Photoshop, check out my retouching essentials pack. 14 amazing actions to help you retouch better and retouch faster. Thanks so much. I have some freebies like my eyes and teeth whitening action, free frequency separation action. Check those out. Look, all the links are in the description below. If you're checking those out and you're supporting my channel, thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have an amazing day, guys. Peace out.